Hey everybody, it's Audrey. Thank you so much for being here. I have something super fun to share with you today. I am taking part in the Summer Scrappy Challenge hosted by Leah at Scrap and Plan, and her Facebook channel or not her Facebook, her YouTube channel I will link below, and the Facebook group as well. So basically what she is doing is she is posting 12 challenges today, and each challenge has a prize. And so here are a list of some of the challenges. You can go to the Facebook group or follow along through the YouTube hop to see all the different challenges. And like I said, each challenge offers a different price. And you have until July 26th, I believe, to do your layouts for each project. And you will post them, by the way, in the Facebook group. So my challenge is to punch it out. And I want you to use a punch that is not a circle or a square. So find a unique shape, a unique punch shape, and repeat it several times on your page. So I am working with this photo of my son from his birthday party last year. His birthday is next week, so I wanted to get my last year's photos scrapped before I take this year's photos. I have a lot more to do for his party last year. But anyway, I love this picture of him with his eyes closed so tightly, making his gigantic wish on his candle and his cupcake. So I pulled out a whole bunch of things from my stash. This is kind of like a stash busting page, because I just pulled out like what I saw first and things that I thought that kind of inspired me for this page. And I have this piece of Chamel paper from her Starshine collection, and I loved the big numbers on it. And when I bought this piece of paper, I had anticipated using it on birthday pages because the numbers were so big. So I cut out the number 5, and at first I was like, ugh, the number 5, of course, has a pinkish shade to it, and it's my son's birthday, but it looks fine. So it's okay to add pink and purple to a boy's page, and I add both of those colors to this page. So I am using my tab punch, and I guess it was quite a while ago now. I saw, a couple weeks ago, I saw somebody in a Facebook group post that they got this punch for their planner. And I love this punch because, as you know, I always add labels to my pictures with the dates. And so this punch was a must-have for me because, like I said, I always am using these little tabs to add the dates to pretty much every single page I do. So I am going to go through and just punch a whole bunch of tabs from different colors here. And I had pulled out a few papers initially, but when I cut my number 5 out of that Chamel paper, I really liked the color combo, and it looked kind of boyish to me, but still fun, like birthday party fun. So yeah, so I'm going to go through and start punching out a whole bunch of different tabs. Now, my intention was not to use this punch as you normally would, as just a label for a photo. I wanted to kind of create a pattern with these little tab shapes. So I just scattered them. I played around for a while with this. So this, what you're seeing here is the design I kind of end up going with, but this was after I had pushed them around on my paper for quite a long time, playing with different arrangements and designs. It actually, they can make some pretty cool patterns when you put like the straight edges together, and they make some neat shapes. I pulled out a little balloon cluster. That was from a sticker sheet from Basic Gray. They had a birthday collection called RSVP. And these papers, by the way, it's just a hodgepodge of papers. I have some Simple Stories papers. There's the Chamel papers, as I mentioned. There's some Webster's Pages papers in here, and some Basic Gray. So I went through and just picked out some colors and different patterns. You'll notice, by the way, that most of my tabs, because I was going to be working with, I knew a lot of them, I did not really pick papers that had a very busy pattern. Most of them are kind of tone on tone. There are a few that have some more pattern to them, but I feel like when you're doing a design like this where you have some smaller shapes that are going to be the focus of your page, you don't want to have too many busy patterns because it just gets too busy. So I tend to stay with more kind of solid color. I mean, a few patterns here and there are definitely make it more interesting, but too many patterns and it just gets too busy. So I wanted to add something more to this because just the plain white background was just a little boring for me. I was going to do some mixed media in the background, but I really liked the pop of black and white. I had pulled out a black and white stripe as well to begin with, and this piece of black and white paper, which is a Webster's Pages paper, and I like what that adds to the page. So yeah, so I'm just going to push around a couple things, and I pulled out a whole bunch of different chipboard. I really don't have too many birthday specific collections. That basic gray one is pretty much the only one I have, really. I have a few birthday embellishments here and there, but I don't have any birthday collections. I like just using my regular papers for birthday because, I mean, with cutting files and other things now, you can make a lot of different things look like birthday collections. So, okay, so I'm playing around with a couple black and white strips here. I love using a black and white stripe like that on a page. I really think it just adds such a bold statement. But as I was adding the black and white strips to the edges, I felt like it was pulling away from the design that I had going down the center of the page there. So I had this empty space to the left of the photo, and I thought, well, maybe I could add a journaling card in there. So I cut this piece of lined paper from a Simple Stories card, and Simple Stories like 4x6 card. I put that on. Not sure if I like that. I had pulled out these cork embellishments from Jelly Bean Soup. I've never used these. I've had them forever. And I like that. I like the craft natural color with the bright colors. And I considered actually matting my photo with craft cardstock, but I didn't end up doing that. I felt like the cork just added just enough of that craft color. So I'm still playing around to see if I like this journaling card idea. I know I need something there, but in the meantime, I'm going to play around with a few more embellishments. These happen to be brads, well, the Simple Stories like sticky brads, and they are birthday ones. And then I pulled out, for these labels, I thought maybe I should embellish some of these. So on the Chamel Starshine sticker sheet, there were some little phrase stickers that fit perfectly inside the labels. So I just pulled out a couple different colors, and I was kind of putting, the color of the sticker matching the same color of the sticker to the same color of the tab. And I don't do every single one, just a couple phrases that I thought kind of went with my photo. This was fun, kind of going through my stash and finding things that kind of went along with the birthday theme, and out of papers that weren't necessarily, for birthday. So this sticker sheet are the transparent stickers, and I really loved this word dream, and it was kind of a dark blue, and I liked how, so I have a dark blue tab at the top and a dark blue tab at the bottom, and I felt like I needed something else blue. And so I will eventually put that clear sticker over the number 5. I don't do it yet because I know I don't want it stuck down yet. So that will help balance and create my visual triangle with the blues. So you can see I added a couple more tabs to the left of my photo. So that filled in that blank space there. And that's really what my page needed, was just some more tabs to kind of continue the pattern down the page, because it kind of stopped halfway down the photo and then continued underneath the photo. So by putting some more tabs into the left of the photo, I felt like I completed the flow of the tabs down the page. So I got them all on. I took a picture, so I remembered exactly where my tabs went, and I drew little pencil lines. You can kind of see them there on my white cardstock, where my photo goes. And I'm going to, I wanted to add a little bit of mixed media to the background. And because I already had so many colorful things, I'm going to go with a very neutral background and just use some grays. This gray, by the way, I didn't put any gesso down, which after I smushed this first set of ink in, I was regretting that I didn't put any gesso down, because it just does not blend well, and you can't really, with gesso, if you put some ink on it, you have the opportunity to kind of soak it up with a paper towel before it completely sinks in, and that doesn't happen when you don't have gesso. You can't wipe it up because it sinks in right away. So I went through with the gray, and then I actually spritzed over it with some white dilution spray to kind of tone it down a little bit. But anyway, it just went through, smushed it. The two mists I used was a super old October Afternoon one, a gray one, and then a Mr. Huey's in clay, which is my favorite neutral color. My paper was still a little bit wet when I went to glue my photo down, so I used a heat gun on it. And when I did that, and again, this is also because I didn't use gesso, it kind of warped. And so I have, two layers of paper. I have the cardstock and then the pattern paper, and so they kind of warped differently because I have, the ink spread across the two. So again, I really should have used some gesso, but anyway, I didn't, and it still works out fine. So I added some Scotch tape to the back of my page to glue it down flat, and I keep it like that overnight, and I find that it really helps keep my page flatter, so that the next morning when I come down, it's much more flat and not as warped. So I went back through and I put everything back on, all my tabs back on. I had to take my camera off so I could look at my picture that I took to see exactly where my tabs were. You saw me mount my photo on a lightweight mixed media sheet from ThermoWeb, just to give a softer edge to the photo. I love the little bit of gray in the background. When you have like a piece of pattern paper that runs down the middle of the page like that polka dot one does, I find that when you put mixed media over both sides, it helps kind of bring the sides together and kind of make it more continuous than half and half. So putting the ink over both sides really brings it together well. So I'm just going to go through now, and I glued down a whole bunch of my tabs right where I had them. Most of them are right where I had them. And I play around with these embellishments a little bit more as far as positioning goes. I didn't like that one circle on the top of the photo. I feel that cork circle is too big for that area. I wish I had a smaller cork on the top, but it works out just fine. And then I put that clear sticker over the 5. I love how that looks. And I love how it goes over the photo a little bit too. So I play around with these corks, move them around. That one in the bottom left has a star cut out of the middle, which is cool when you put it over a color because you can see the star pop out. And then on this sticker sheet, there were some other little kind of tiny clear stars, star stickers. They're a little bit like of a yellowish tint to them. So I'm going to scatter those around. And what else do I do here? I pop off, I had put some craft foam behind my photo. And when I did that, by the way, as you saw, I had put it down on the cardstock at first, and the background was still a little bit wet, so I had to put some more adhesive on the back of it, but I put some foam to pop it off. So I popped off some of the labels, especially the ones on the photo, with some foam dots. So I liked the stars, and I liked the cork, and I was just going through a couple of my drawers looking for some other things, and I found these cork stars, and I really loved adding those. Again, I think here's why I like the stars specifically, because they were cork and because they were a different shape. I have a lot of like the stripes with the tabs going on, and then I have some circle elements, but the stars really pop, I feel, because they are a completely different shape than kind of the strips and the circles. So they help bring in another fun element to the page. So the stars were a good find in my drawer. These little tiny, they're not enamel dots, they kind of look more like gemstone shapes, but they're all stuck together like in a strand. And I got them from Hobby Lobby. They're the Hobby Lobby brand, whatever that brand is called, Paper Studio, I think. And so I just cut them apart in between each of the little glue strips and then just add a few of those on the page. So a couple other things I do that I don't show you here in the video. I go through and I stitch over some of the labels, some of the tabs, and then add a little date sticker and some journaling. And there is my finished page. I love how this came out. I loved using those tabs as a fun kind of embellishment, and I love the shape of them, and they're just different, and I'm glad I used them in this way instead of just as the plain old label behind a photo. So please go check out Leah's YouTube page, and she is completing all 12 challenges. So she will have a video every hour, oh my gosh, for 12 hours. And then you can see all of the other participants or the challengers pages as well. I will put all the links below. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget you can win a $15 gift certificate to Paper Issues if you complete my challenge and post it in the Facebook group. I hope to see what you create. Thanks so much. Have a good day.